I'm good, sir. I'm perfect. I'm perfect. Thank you.
And how was the weekend, by the way?
Yo, my weekends are very adventurous.
Yeah.
So I had a really good one. They're very exhausting as well, but I'm glad. I'm glad.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Mr. Happy, take it away.
Ke rata go dumedisa baretsi botlhe ba Kurara FM. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit. I hope you are inviting your young ones to come and join this show so we can help you raise them up nicely, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, your life is about to get into perspective. You're looking Mr. Tsepo Mohapi or Nanajalo Monday Motivation. Mr. Mohapi, the time is yours.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so what I've started doing is I've sort of allowed myself to interact a bit more with the listeners.
Sure.
Especially those who are following the social media pages.
Yes.
And there is quite a lot of interaction on those pages. And as far as I think last week we spoke about happiness. And I think a lot of people were quite unsettled
Yes.
about the fact that I said they shouldn't chase happiness. So I think part of what I want to do today, before I move into the next law, is just to try and help give a bit of perspective in terms of what exactly was I saying, because I understood that there was quite a lot of disjuncture, or rather a lot of people that misunderstood what I was trying to say. So I had to do a lot of explaining. So today I'm going to take the time and just help you out so that you understand. So let's look at it this way. A lot of people are living their lives today because they want to find happiness. Happiness is a very interesting word to use to start with. And I'm going to just probably talk about what happiness actually really means. And if you look at the dictionary definition of happiness, because I did ask some of my followers on the social media platforms to say, what is happiness to you? What do you understand about happiness? And if you were to say you are happy, what makes you happy?
Okay.
And because look at it this way, I can't have superficial things that are making me happy when I do not even understand what that happiness actually means. So which means if I'm going to define happiness, my own definition of happiness, and I am defining happiness, and I need to also say, what is it that makes me happy as a person? I need to then go back and point out things that are actually solid. It shouldn't be superficial things. It must be real tangible stuff for me to actually say, this is what I then define as happiness. So I don't want to go into those details and what is it that I picked up when I was interacting with some of the people that are following the pages. But let me just help you understand this. In a relationship, if you go into a relationship with any person, whether it's a business relationship, it's a romantic relationship, those relationships cannot always remain good. Life is, it's like if you look at a graph of a heartbeat of a person,
Yes, sir.
it's not a straight line. If that heartbeat becomes a straight line, it means there's a problem with that person.
True.
It must be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, which means there is life. There is activity. The heart is functioning. So whenever something functions accordingly and properly, it's not going to be a flat line. So in a business, if you are in a business, whether it is making money, whether it is growth, it's not going to be a straight line. It's going to be up, down, up, down. There'll be moments of highs where you are excited that you are doing good. This is what's happening. This is you are achieving this, you are achieving. But there will be moments where you're saying it's hard.
Yes, sir.
I'm not enjoying this moment. It's difficult. I'm dragging myself to do this because life is designed to be like that. There must be highs and lows. Nothing, even the earth, if you look at the earth itself, the earth itself has highs and lows. There are areas that are flat, there are areas that are peaking, they go up. There are areas that go down, there are areas that go even lower that you call valleys. And sometimes we even become philosophical and say, when you are mountain high, in your life, you are at your best, they call it the peak of your life. Because it's symbolic to the peak of a mountain. And then we say when you are in your difficult times, you are in the valleys of your life. Because that's how life is structured. So in business, you will find exactly the same thing. Now, that does not mean that when you are in your lows in business, you must pack up, close shop, and go home.
Nah.
No, that's not what it means. It means you must equally embrace those low moments the same way you embrace the high moments. But what I was trying to say last week was that those low moments actually have a lot more lessons in them than the high moments.
Whew. Wow.
And what we need to learn to do, is to learn to look at our lows differently from how we've been looking at them in the past. A lot of people call it difficulty. A lot of people call it challenges. A lot of people call it obstacles. They call it a lot of different names. Try to find different terminology that you can use for yourself. Call things in a different way. You can call it a moment of growth. When you go through a difficult time, you can call it a moment of transformation or a moment of learning or whatever that you want to call it, but use a different terminology so that you don't develop negative emotions towards what you are going through at that point in time. Let me tell you something. More than half the time, the emotion that's generated by what you go through is what impacts you more than the actual thing. The emotions, you can find 10 people going through exactly the same thing, but it doesn't impact them the same. And it has everything to do with perception, how they perceive what they are going through. If that person learns to perceive it in a positive light, the chances are it will have less impact on them than it has with the person that says, I am finished. This is the end of me. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And we have learned to even speak like that. How many people, when something is difficult, say, this thing is so hard, it's killing me. Or this thing is so difficult, it's going to be the end of me. You see it all over social media. People are saying, this thing is going to be the end of us. If petrol goes up, they will say, this petrol will be the end of us. Because that's how we have learned and trained ourselves to speak. Now, coming to happiness, you will find yourself in a relationship. You enter a romantic relationship with a person. Look, you are not always going to love each other.
Okay.
No, that's not normal. You are not always going to be burning with love every day.
Yeah.
There are times where you look at that person and say, I wish I was not even here. There are times where you will look at this person and say, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking ending up with this one? There will be times where you do not like this person for several reasons.
Yeah.
But those moments of not liking that person, maybe because of their behavior, maybe because of their personality, mannerisms, certain things that they like that you don't like. It is easy to love a person when you only see them once a day for an hour or 30 minutes. Because you don't really get to see much.
Okay.
Wait until you spend every day of your life with that person. You will realize, I thought I was in love, but... I'm not feeling this thing. Now, what that teaches you is that there are several things you are going to learn as a person. Now, because we have developed a mentality of everything must be happiness, relationships don't even last. Relationships, some don't even last 3 months. Because a person gets in there and says, I must be happy. This person, it must be your life's mission to make me happy. If you cannot do that, you are not the man for me. Now, that poor child must live his life every day, every minute, every second, and every hour of his life making you happy. When even you yourself cannot do that for yourself. You want another person to be able to do that for us. Impossible. So that mentality enslaves people. That mentality puts people in a prison where people will not be able to enjoy themselves a lot more simply because they want to pursue things that are supposed to change over time. So let me explain this. What is happiness according to the dictionary? Happiness is an emotional state. Now, happiness, let me give you this. I've done a bit of research on happiness. Happiness is an umbrella word that covers everything that feels nice.
Basically.
Now, I'll explain why I'm saying that. It's an emotional state characterized by feelings. Feelings. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How you felt about yourself 5 years ago, is it still the same way you feel about yourself today? No.
Changed.
Because feelings are meant to evolve.
Yeah.
Feelings are meant to change.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean? My definition of happiness from 5 years ago to now is different.
Yeah.
Because I have lived, I have grown, I have reached certain things or certain levels of life where my definition of happiness is now different. Now listen to what the dictionary says. It says an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy. It uses joy.
Okay.
It uses satisfaction. It uses contentment.
Yes, sir.
It's using fulfillment. Now, do you see how confused happiness is? It covers everything. It's like we are basically saying to you, everything that's nice is happiness. Everything that comes across that feels good, that makes you feel, all bubbly and whatever about yourself, that is happiness. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself is that to you as a person, what is happiness? What is happiness to you as a person? Maybe to you as a person, happiness is sitting with friends and laughing the whole day. That to you is happiness. Say, you find people, they post a lot on social media, say, my happy place.
Yeah, my soft life.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about soft life too much because I might be attacked again. So let me not go there. But a person will say, my happy place. And some people, their happy place is their children. Some people, their happy place is their family.
Yeah.
Some people, their happy place is their church. Some people, their happy place is their work. Some people, their happy place is their relationship.
Yes,
whenever they're with their partner, they're in their happy place. Now, do you see those definitions are all not the same? But let me tell you something. 5 to 10 years down the line, that happiness would have shifted to something else. So you cannot base your life on something that moves so much.
Yeah.
Because that means when you will never get to a point where you are satisfied. Because you are always going to chase the next best thing that makes you happy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense. Think about the trends that you used to have on social media about, let me use an example, about going to a vacation.
Yeah, really vacation.
Let's say a vacation. How people used to revolt and go crazy about, to say, all I need is a vacation. All I need is a vacation. Okay, so now it has changed to something else. Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, you realize if you are a man trying to satisfy a woman,
Yes, sir.
Yesterday you were a van.
Yeah.
That means you must own a van. Today, because of load shedding, you are a generator. When something else happens, they will say, Munnaki million rand, because maybe the finances are not doing well.
Yeah,
and Munnaki this, Munnaki that. And even men now are starting to bring their own. Mosadiki this. A woman is this, a woman is that, a woman is that. Now, let me tell you something. If you are trying to satisfy all of those conditions, you are going to go mad. You are going to go mad trying to fit a profile that is actually superficial. That will change. That will change the next day. This generation that we live in today is a very quick generation. Even if you can trend today, by next week you are no longer the trend.
Sure. That's true.
So how do you live your life trying to trend? It's not going to satisfy you. It's not going to make you happy. So what I'm trying to get to is that happiness is a very big word for people to try and chase. And what I'm trying to get to is for people to understand that chase the things that are attributes of more value than just happiness.
Wow.
Chase attributes of more. How many people talk about peace? That I want peace. Peace is more permanent than happiness. Happiness is a chemical reaction that happens in your body. And it's short-lived. Yes, it is triggered by something and you release a bunch of hormones and you feel happy for that moment. After that period has passed. How many people are happy on Friday? By Monday, they are unhappy.
Yo.
You will see on Thursday, they'll be posting. It's pre-Friday. Pre-Friday when it's Thursday. And Friday comes and they are buzzing. Saturday, they are buzzing. Sunday, they are buzzing. Monday, what do they post? Hey, it's Monday, kabona koyana. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if that's what you are chasing as happiness, you are never going to find a place of your life where you actually value certain things that have more meaningful impact in your life. And things that have more meaningful impact in your life are attributes that are much more valuable than simple basic things like happiness.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Some people seek joy in their lives. Some people seek peace in their lives. Some people just want quietness. Those are things that they value more.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at Steve Jobs the other time, even Bill Gates. When he is at his creative, at his most creative, he takes time even away from his wife.
Oh.
The wife knows that there are times where he leaves and he goes and sits in a condo that they have somewhere.
Nice.
And he spends either a week or a few weeks there.
Nice.
Reading, developing ideas, doing all sorts of things in that moment of quietness. Now, who are you to think you can develop smart ideas in the middle of noise? You realize that sometimes the things we value, and that's why last week when I was speaking, I said, develop a value system for yourself. What rich people don't tell us is that they have developed a system for themselves.
Yeah.
And they are consistent with that system. They remain loyal to that system, and they do that thing consistently every single day. While we are living a puzzle life, we are grabbing this, we are living this, we're grabbing this, we are living this. Your life must be so structured that you become predictable.
Okay.
People know at 8 o'clock you are sitting on the table drinking coffee. At 9 o'clock you are packing your things, you are leaving. You are at the office from 10 o'clock up until 3:30. Your life is consistent. It's structured. They know. You even know for yourself. I wake up at 6. I pray for 30 minutes. By 6:30, I'm running the water in the bath. I'm warming up my pot there with jungle oats or whatever. Your life is... People that have structure like that are a lot more effective than people who are... Think about people who are always late for work.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, what structure do they have for themselves? People who have structure know how to even manage time. And they can use time optimally. Sometimes it feels like they have more time in a day than other people. Simply because they are pursuing values that are more valuable than others. Ask yourself, I've looked at the top 5 billionaires in the world.
Yes, sir.
And I've looked at what is it that they value the most. The top 3 things they value the most in their lives. Happiness is not one of them.
Oh.
None of them care about happiness. Say, what? Happiness?
What's that?
In fact, they feel happiness is just a word that shouldn't even be in a dictionary. Because to them, you will find a lot of billionaires, they seek peace more than anything else.
Wow.
I was once privileged to actually speak to one of them. And I asked them, what is most valuable to you? And that person looked me in the eye and said, if I were to maintain peace in my life, that's all I need. He says, peace is something that I can't even use money to buy. It requires investment over a period of time.
Very essential.
Because it's a valuable trait that a person can develop that has a lot more value. Because it takes long to develop. You don't wake up with peace in the morning. It takes a lot. It takes consistency. Doing the same thing. Even Christians know Jesus gives us peace. But that peace, you don't get it by arriving at the church. Day one, you have peace. No, you have to work. You have to build yourself up until you get into that space where you begin to experience what peace. But it took what effort to get to it. Now, when you begin to realize as a person that you need to chase personality traits or you need to chase success attributes that are of more value than these intangible, non-value traits that we are chasing today.
Oh, wow.
So this becomes important then for us, because what it basically says is that as a person, I need to find myself in a space where I am able to say, this is what I value. This is what I don't value. This is what I deem as important. This is what I don't deem as important. Now, I want to close, but let me touch on a few things.
Okay.
What is the definition of joy according to the dictionary? Joy is feeling great or feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Do you see that even joy links back to happiness? Now, what does that mean? What it means is that happiness is not something you run after. Happiness is a product of something else that you do.
Wow.
There are things you can do that can bring happiness. But happiness will not stay for long because it's a short-lived chemical reaction in your body. Which means, at that moment when it happens, I even said last week that those are your moments of refreshing. Because it's an emotional, it's a chemical release in the body. It's supposed to release and refresh your body up to a point. That is why happiness plays a role. But it is a product of something else that you do. Okay. So let's look at, I get one of the words was satisfaction. Then let's look at satisfaction. What is satisfaction? The pleasure derived from fulfillment.
Pleasure derived from
fulfillment. Okay, so then that means we must chase fulfillment. What is fulfillment? Okay, fulfillment is the achievement of something desired or promised or predicted. So when you achieve something that you have desired, something that was anticipated, that is what you call fulfillment.
Okay.
So for an example, soccer players, they play a match. Their intention is to win. When they win that match, what state are they in after they win that match? They are fulfilled.
Yo.
So which means joy is higher than happiness.
Yes, sir.
Satisfaction is higher than joy.
Yes, sir.
Fulfillment is higher than satisfaction. But there's one that I like which is higher than all of them.
Yes, sir.
And this is what I call contentment. Contentment. You see, in vernacular, but khotsofala is satisfaction.
Okay. Oh, all right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, what is contentment? Hey, it's a state of fulfillment and satisfaction, which means joy is in there, satisfaction is in there, fulfillment is in there, happiness in it, all of it are in there. What in contentment?
Wow. Oh, I'm content.
So what are we supposed to chase? What is it that's supposed to trend on social media? Contentment.
What a way.
Not happiness. Not happiness. Happiness is a chemical reaction that can be triggered by anything. I can buy you Nando's. And you can have a chemical reaction in your body that makes you what? Happy.
Happiness.
But contentment is long-lived. Contentment carries joy in it. It carries satisfaction. It carries fulfillment. It carries happiness. Anything that feels good in life is in contentment. No wonder in the Bible, if you read the Bible, you are not going to find happiness a lot. You are not going to find joy a lot. You are not going to find satisfaction a lot or fulfillment a lot, but you are going to find contentment so many times that even God speaks about contentment more than he speaks about happiness, more than he speaks about joy, more than he speaks about satisfaction or fulfillment. He talks about contentment. What are we supposed to do?
Yes, sir.
Chase contentment. Take the time to chase contentment. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your efforts chasing things that are short-lived. You are exhausted by chasing this thing, but it only lives for a day and it's finished. And you have worked for a week to get to it. If we look at the Pareto rule, what we have just done, you have done 80% work for 20% output. It's not worth it.
Yo.
It's not worth it. So what am I trying to say to you? There are moments that you should allocate for happiness in your life. And some people use what you call a reward system. Say, once I've done good, I will go out and do something that makes me feel happy. Because happiness is short-lived. But I can't do happy things all the time. Let me use happy moments as a reward for having done something constructive for myself.
Wow.
This is why this is part of the law of growth. Because this is how you grow as a person. You make sure that the things you are developing, that you are growing, are in line with what you want to achieve in your life. And when you do that, those moments of happiness, they come as rewards. You have moments where you say, I'm going on holiday to reward myself for a successful year.
Yeah.
Marawena, every weekend, holiday. Every weekend, holiday. What are you celebrating so much?
Yo.
Do you really have that much success in your life for you to have a holiday every weekend? Let's be realistic, guys. Even if you can afford a holiday every weekend, that's not the point. The point is use those moments of refreshing as a means of rewarding yourself so that you can motivate yourself to do more.
Yes, sir.
To do more for yourself. I mean, how many billionaire children do you know that are actually well developed here? How many rich people's children do you know that are actually well developed and they are matured? Very few. Very few. You ask yourself why. It's because privilege and access and resources can blind a human being to thinking they are doing well in life when they are not.
Yo.
How many businesses that are family owned, that when the father of that house passes away, the business falls apart? You ask yourself a question, why couldn't you just take a day a week to learn what your father was doing so that when he passes, you don't have to run the business yourself, but you can hire people that will run it, and because you understand it, you are able to oversee. How many things that even our own parents or our great parents or our great parents did that were good for our families that are no longer continuing because we never took the time to understand and learn what they were doing. We were interested in other things.
Wow.
Sure.
And it's simple things where God allows a family access to a particular stream of wealth.
Yes, sir.
And that one individual that caught it, develops it, grows it up to a point. And then you find those people that just don't care. When their time comes, they just look at it and move on because they were not developed. I pray that the day I pass away as a multi-billionaire, I don't want to find myself in a space where I am lying in the grave, or I'm sitting somewhere in heaven, and God allows me to see what's going on, and I see my kids messing up.
What a waste.
I would love to sit there and see them multiply those billions.
Flourishing.
I want to see, and I'll sit there and say, those are my boys.
Yes, sir.
So we need to invest in ourselves that way. Take the time to invest in yourself by chasing virtue, chasing attributes of superior value.
Yes, sir.
Chase things of superior value. Do not blindside yourself by excitement. No, don't do that to yourself. Use excitement to refresh, but do not have it as something that needs to happen every day. I think I have covered what most of my people on the platform were concerned about. I'm not saying happiness is wrong, but use it wisely because it's the least of the attributes when it comes to the hierarchy of values that you must chase as a person. Thank you so much.
No, Mr. Happy, ka gale re itebela thata gore o dula ntse o tla ka sengwe se le goreng se ya se re ruta se re aga jaaka re dira manta ga mongwe le mongwe re go kry-a ka bara comedy platform tse di farologaneng.
On Instagram and TikTok, it's life_in_perspective 2019. Life_in_perspective 2019. That's Instagram and TikTok. And then on Facebook, it's Life in Perspective. Life in Perspective.
Mr. Happy, re thata gore o tlile ka kwana gape manta ga
Thank you so much.
re tla tswela ka this series e ntšha re a leboga thata la ke itumetse ke dibela gore moretlene o itumetse gona bana ba ntse ba shebile live le bona re a leboga thata Mr. Happy. Once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Right.